I said we could try.
No decisions were made.
Correct, no decisions were made.
Propose that we change the conditions of the ad for
You
the
can let 'em in
appraiser's
now.
office
Yeah.
from a part-time to a full-time position and advertise that position as a full-time position.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
It's gotta drive the viewers crazy when they go into executive session, we come out like that.
That's one thing I didn't bring up, since we have a little time here. The general public is really advised they can't hear the video very well.
I tried to be louder.
So if I could get a wireless mic, set it on the table.
I'm not real sure they wanna hear it, but
We can filter you out.
that's probably it.
I'll bet I can do more bleeps.
The one I priced before, just looking around, was about 350-ish. I can bring you something to look at.
Okay. Amanda, we have, as a board, decided to have you run a full-time ad.
Okay.
Full-time position ad. I think that's better suited.
Okay.
So that was what we called
That's
it.
why I kept coming back in, because I was, I came in to see how many hours we were talking in a wage scale, because we didn't have a wage
Yeah.
scale for a part-time person, so
Let's
that's
go
why I
with
kept popping in
full.
full-time.
We're gonna do it, why mess around?
And you guys are okay with,
Full-time.
Adjusting
Yeah,
the
if you
budget
call
so we
Karen, let her know that it'll be a full-time.
Make sure she gets it in the paper.
Yeah, if
Okay,
she can get
she
it
said
in
she
the
was
paper
willing.
today,
Okay.
that means you need to call right away.
Still double check.
okay, yep,
Okay,
I
thank
can
you.
do that.
Thank you, John.
Hey, you're up.
I'll do that for you.
How are you? Good morning. Good morning.
Call Karina Cox also. She wanted to talk about that when we have a minute. Do a conference call. With the ambulance, that grant.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why it's better. Okay, Dave.
I think it's time to run the deal on that. Let's go around for the month. This annual inspection, that's because we had the one bridge north of Josh Sowers that we put the extra stringers in it, so now we got a detector system.
That one was about that tall off the ground.
No, this was the first one. This has got pretty good depth yet, but the other ones, the one that always raised up and we'll need to have to drive over, they're the culverts. This one's good, so. Okay, I'm gonna get into this asphalt bits. You guys still have these, I got another one. Just got an extra.
I think I copied that so I can write on it.
Here, you can just take mine. I don't need it.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, I did all of them.
I thought we already figured out everything a bit on that.
No, we tabled it, remember, Gerald was
Yeah.
there, we
No,
talked
we
about it,
tabled
I think you guys
Yes,
still have that
tabled.
paper.
Yes, David.
Because we couldn't,
We didn't know where it was financially.
for financial.
Eventually with the hot mix, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was
The top two are hot mixes.
And that was the lowest bid, if I remember correctly, right? Eventually.
Right.
And what did we?
Yes and no.
Oh,
go ahead,
sure.
Drew.
All right.
Okay, this is Coughlin's bid sheet that I give you guys. Maybe I should give this letter to you first, and then you could read it, and then help decipher some of that. In that letter, it explains a little bit what the cold central plant setup is compared to hot mix asphalt. Okay, now again, you can see it. So if you take this alternate sheet, I question where Joe come up with this 29%. You know, you'll see on that first letter that I did. So this was the letter that Coughlin provided from us from this Stephen Cross that said these averages, or said these percentages. So I wound up taking some averages in there, and it come out to 26%. And I think that figure is still a little higher. That 663,992 is still a little higher than Venture. So then Teddy says, he says, you don't have fair comparisons here. It could easily be 20%. Well, if you went 20%, they'd be lower. His point is you could chip seal that and, you know, have enough money to chip seal it again if you went to cold mix in 5 years from now. One thing that I was not aware of on your bids that I did you guys, was you aware that if you go with Coughlin, well, I could go, I'm sorry, I could look at this sheet too. We'll be paying this amount, this 548. We got this 29% in here to make a fair comparison as far as life cycle cost versus hot mix.
That's what you're saying.
That's the part that I wasn't aware of. I thought they had, this was because they had to add that much more material to it to make it comparable. But it's not. We would be paying by the ton.
Well, is this gonna pay to chip seal it in 5 years? I'd say not.
Here's his chip sealing price, it's $88,000.
88,607.
Okay.
And see, his bid would include this 548, including the chip seal.
So you're still gonna be about, give or take, almost 40,000 cheaper? No. Yeah.
If you do that second chip seal. So then I started, this morning I was on with Teddy Weber talking about this chip seal. And he was using this Hess Brothers to do the,
Yes, you continue. Okay.
to do the chip seal.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, he's gonna go with a cheap grade oil and a small rock, which was a 3/8 rock.
What is it gonna be, water emulsified or not? What kind of asphalt's bigger on?
You know, when we go with Cabitco, it's a pulverized emulsified asphalt. And when they went and drilled that, Teddy was impressed with it, it was real good. So here's another option we could do. I got to looking in 2010, our last chip seal was $1.43 a yard, which is roughly 75,000. And I'm sure that's increased 10%. I think I can get a better quality oil and rock for less than that 88,000.
Well, yeah, but is that 5 years down the line or is that for now?
So
That's
you're
for
gonna
now.
have to have it rebid?
Not necessarily rebid. So if we was to do this, we could actually accept this and then redo the chip seal on ourselves.
This is $88,670.
That be
Is that
paid?
figured us doing the chip sealing? Is that our cost? This
see
one,
why
is that what
not.
our cost?
That has to come into it, doesn't add a chip seal company. But that's what they would cost for them to do it,
As opposed to us.
as opposed to us, and again, it'd be a more likely cheaper quality oil, it'd just be.
What is it gonna cost to have us chip seal them?
I'm guessing, probably around 85,000. And what I'm saying is, that'd be better oil and
Better.
bigger chip probably.
So we're gonna do a better job than they will.
I think we will. I just have to get the chipper from.
Did we find out what how our budget was on this?
That's part of what I talked to the auditors on. And after I came back, I talked to Dave. These spreadsheets, what's in the system, are not consistent.
I got it.
For instance, on bridge building, beginning balance was 53,707. That would be at beginning of 15. At the end of 15, bridge building is 42,476. Now, we're going to do this project. Are we going to take the money out of capital improvement that he has set aside for road and bridge?
Now, you were saying bridge building, but we can't use bridge building money for this.
Okay, so we have to use capital improvement.
We have the special road improvement and also the capital improvement.
Well, what do we have in each one of those?
We have, in the capital improvement would be 259,661.
59,661.
And this is what Don gave us last week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then in the special road improvement, we have 30,533.
And then we have set aside this year, and we haven't, the auditors have not told us we can't drop down his money this year. They only suggested, and we approved, not dropping down the equipment monies out of the general fund. He is out of a different fund. He has his own fund.
So has that money actually been transferred over or no?
Well, I think there was 340,000 set aside for this.
We budgeted 340,000 for this project.
Yeah.
Okay, but what you're saying is the equipment transfers aren't gonna happen until the end of the year pursuant to the auditors. My question is the transfer we're talking about, has that actually happened?
No,
Okay,
it hasn't, because the decision we made was for equipment out of the general fund, not equipment out of his O2 road and bridge, or his special machine.
I understand that you're saying different decisions were made. I'm asking
Yeah.
if the transfer has actually happened
No.
independent. Okay,
No, it has not happened. It can happen.
So currently, in these two funds, we have 300,194. We was planning on spending this 340, which is a total of 640,000. And then we also was gonna try to save this 100,000 from last year, roll over into this too, just in case we needed it.
So,
But there again, it's contingent on when the 100,000 would have to be after the audit was completed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would
That
definitely
would
have
be
to.
some months down the road.
From August, probably.
Unless they were to agree to come in early and do that. And I think the treasurer has already sent an email to them requesting when they intend to come. I have a copy of that someplace, but I do know she did forward it to me.
okay.
So we need to ask her if they have responded to her email. She took the week off, so I don't know, what happened there last week.
So first things first, we need to accept the bid.
I think it's doable if the auditors agree that we can transfer funds from one area to the other that belong to the engineer.
Okay.
And they know, I don't know what the budget law is on that.
Well, I thought you just said they said that was okay. Are you saying that's still up in the air?
What I said was, let's see,
We just want to table this.
for 2016,
I mean, when do they gotta have their bids back? I mean,
There was nothing said about that. I did talk to Gerald a little bit this morning. I said, I'm leaning towards this cold mix.
okay, so he has
And
set up
if we go that, of course, he likes the
340,000,
hot mix. It's a
but that
more
hasn't been
guaranteed
transferred
better
this
performance.
year.
all
Right.
right, we know it sticks back.
So
It
if we
does.
transfer
It's
that,
the cracks.
he's still gonna be short
You know, the
in
hot
road
mixes that we've
improvement.
had, it seems
He
like
has
the
to,
cracks
he has
in
to
it,
cover
and
that shortage out of his
where the cold
capital
plant,
loan, and he has to move that
there's
over to
more
the other
voids
one.
in it, and he
Right.
said it's more flexible.
If the auditor says that's okay,
I
I
never heard
don't
that.
see it wrong.
Okay.
See,
I did talk to Russell County, they use this cold,
because
recycled material.
on his
they label it
special
themselves.
machinery,
And
he's
he
also
said
got
he's
set
been
up for
very pleased with it.
200,000 for
Collins
this year.
County used it, I wasn't satisfied with that.
The reasons the auditors didn't want to transfer
Whether they
these
didn't
things is
have
they
the
wanted to
experience,
hold the
I don't
departments
know.
hostage to
So
stay
Joe
within
says
their
if you guys
budget.
are leaning towards Cochran, I wonder if we should visit with Venture, see if they don't want to.
That's
come
at
back
least the
to
way
this
I
and
look at
see
it.
what
Maybe
happens.
I'm too tough
I think
in the
we
way
need
I
to do
look
that
at it.
first.
Except, one of the reasons is, on that bid sheet that I did with, I haven't figured out why their mobilization and their signage was so much higher. And he said, well, if we're gonna block off the road, they would take something off of that. So that's the other thing that he discussed.
Ronnie, do we want to table this so he can get a cold mix bid from Venture, and we can talk to the auditors between now and then and table it to the next meeting?
Yeah, I think we need to
Is that okay
have
with
one
you?
more conversation with the auditors and see if we can't coordinate this and
Okay.
get the deal
You
done.
okay with
And
that?
it not cold
Are
mix
you
from
okay
Venture,
with that?
it'd be the hot mix from Venture.
Okay.
That we would be wanting them to come back and see if they have any other else to discuss on this.
Okay.
Another thing that Claire said at Thomas County said, can we get a year guarantee on it? We're gonna do that, but that's something else I gotta check. So,
Ask them for two, maybe they'll give you one.
ask for three, maybe they give you two. Isn't that the way it works?
Once in a while, usually they just come and look at you, and you're crazy.
But at this point, it's kind of leaning towards this Kaufman, and then we pay this $459 amount, and then we would do the chip seal ourselves.
In 5 years. Down the road.
No, this has to be done within 3 months, after 3 weeks. It has to be cured out for 3 weeks, and then we come in and do it in the fall. And then we'd still have money left over if we want to come back in 5 more years and do it again, still for the same
Oh,
price
so-
of the hot mix.
Okay. I was under misunderstanding.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that's been confusing on this, so,
Okay.
And it's your fault.
pretty much.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna take that old spray truck, the galvanized tank, I think I'm gonna take it to auction.
The International.
Yep. We just don't use it. Well, we got that 500 gallon tank, on the Coops pickup, we just don't use it.
Well, that's a pretty good outfit. Somebody's used that for a nurse tank.
Say, I'm also looking at another pickup that they got for auction here in town. Not for auction, for sale.
The fire department guys ever come with all their tanks they needed for their nurse tank thing. I went up with them, they might want that big tank.
I can check with them.
I mean, it's stainless, it's not gonna rust out.
That's right. That's good to know. So,
And I'm sure that truck ain't gonna be worth any more than that bump on it or that.
nope, we'll make a difference. So, I got a noxious weed meeting this afternoon, but then I also have my annual conference coming up March 15th to 8th or something like that. So, 8th to 10th, somewhere in there. So, I'll let you guys know all about it.
Well, the water school turned out well, I might have to do a little more research on that, more tools, more information, things like that, so. Make it worthwhile for us. Thursday, we got a Caterpillar guy that's gonna come in and do some demonstrations for us. Here at us, we were having trouble with one employee, those are the joystick graders. And, you know, with the antelope control, not antler controls, you know, you kind of freeze your hands up a little bit, but your steering's, you know, and you gotta have your hand on this all the time. By noon, the pain starts going on, doesn't it?
Cardinal tunnel.
Yeah.
He thinks it's part of the way, but Kelly said he's adjusted a lot of things. So anyway, this is what the cat rep's gonna visit with us, whether we're doing something wrong or what. And J.W.'s having a trouble with it. So,
Right down here, and if your shoulder.
well, and like Kelly says, you can't let loose of that because that's your steering wheel. It's joystick.
Tell him put some napkins in one pocket. So that the yellow truck was, you get a pain, just something like that.
But see, you know, you can adjust that armrest and also the wrist control and everything on that, and he's trying to.
Anyway, this guy's gonna come out, he's gonna be working with the guy this surgery, so. I mean, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so. Kind of a bummer,
I
yeah.
think I heard something in pain about.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, he had that new machine, and they'd run that probably 6 months or something like that. And then he was having that trouble every day. The next day, he gets on the old 140G, doesn't have any problem.
The anxiety killed me.
That's all I got. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, and I'll contact Ron and see about the transfer of
Good night, bud.
funds. You want,
I haven't, I'd
just
love
to
to.
make sure, out of capital improvement, you want that to go into,
I'm gonna come out of my excavator.
Why is that? It's just like all of them, man.
No, we just need to look at transfer for special.
I like running
I
that.
know, I do too. Except when your feet hit the water, because you have a cave in there in the water.
I get too relaxed early when I go to sleep. That's swinging.
Yeah.
This transfer to special road improvements, we just want to know if that's going to be completed. I can see the equipment reserve not
yeah,
being done until the
07,
end
that's
of the
where
year.
you want it to go, is 07.
Well, when I talked to him, he was supposed to combine them two, and I don't know why he hasn't.
Well, again, like I told you last week, I find all of these little spreadsheets confusing. To me, they all should be in
Match up.
one document,
Okay.
so that anybody that's a resident of this county can come in and ask for this document, and they can look at one document and see where their finances are.
I was talking to Stan Keller just a little bit. When he worked for the county in the late 60s, the state had took out some of this asphalt on 36, and they just hauled that out in chunks out here on this from North Street for out to almost Cedar Hills. And then just used a dozer to cut that over and break it out. We find it puzzling that there's never been any cracking from the bridge south.
They know what they was doing.
They must have. And then after they got done laying that, then they just did an overlay, you know, trying to get it all broke up, and then they did an overlay on the top of it. No, we did, just chip sealed it probably 3 times.
Interesting. See you, Dave, thanks. We need to do a conference call with Karina Cox on something.
Ambulance grant.
Ambulance grant, sorry.
Mhm.
Here. Let you do that.
Yeah.
I want to
I'm
look
always
something
just
up.
waiting this there.
No, this is, maybe I'll let you.
Ambulance,
Just,
okay, they did pull that down. Okay. So that's available.
yes, Ruth, good morning. Is Karina Cox in? Deb Livingston, Cheyenne County. Karina, hi, this is Deb Livingston in Cheyenne County, and I have the Board of Commission here, ready to have a phone conference with you. I need to get you on.
The auditor will subtract.
Speaker, though.
Whatever is left of it, which means we can't meet the conditions of
Something
the
isn't working though.
grant. In other words, what they're doing is they're forcing these managers to manage.
Oh, just the first day?
I'm gonna need to run up to the sheriff's office. I have some kids in custody. I need
Okay.
to, so I will swing back down and see if you guys are still here, but I
Okay.
need to head up there before noon
All we have left is his executive
Yeah,
session.
this is what we're,
to. Okay, I will try to swing back
Okay.
down, but
Sure.
sorry.
Okay, okay.
No, I think it's hang up
And I think I'll just Cheyenne County Clerk's Office. Oh, Tammy, I think I just hung up on Karina. Oh, Karina, I can't get you on, Tammy, hang up in there because yeah. Okay, now hit hands free. Okay, Karina, are you still there? No, we lost it. She didn't really need to talk to you guys. She really needed to talk more to me.
Okay.
And just said that I don't need to be there that second day. You guys had told me to go down and pick up that
Oh.
grant.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-day thing, so I'll probably go down the 23rd and come back the 24th rather than staying the 25th.
Okay.
So, but I'll get back with her and, wrong message.
Did you need to call
okay, on the 2016 funding, we got 70,000 budgeted to go into that ambulance to be transferred to the equipment reserve. Now, when we made that decision that the transfers won't happen until December, if Reed goes over budget this year, the auditor's gonna take part of that 70,000 or all of that 70,000 away from him and apply it to his negative. You sign the contract, you're gonna be hung with a decision of how are we gonna cover this difference here. And we have to be aware of this early this year. We have to be watching it.
Okay.
And I think we probably even ought to have a contingency plan in place. Because you don't want to get hung with breaking that grant, which is actually it's a contract. The county has promised to pay. And the only thing we have set aside is 15,000 from last year. That's why, when he comes in with decisions like happened this morning, and we have to make a decision on the amount, what was it, 10,000?
Yes.
You
Max.
know, that's really gonna impact his budget here. I mean, tremendously.
Well, yeah, but you did make it clear to him that he was, if he went over, he was gonna lose it.
Well,
But I mean, that's all you can do.
that's right. That's why I wanted to talk to the board. I wanted to listen to what Dave had to say on his problems of overages, and I already heard what Reed had to say. But as a board, we need to be aware early this year where we could end up.
Well, we'll need a contingency plan, but let's hope we don't have to use it.
And again, it depends on how the auditor wants us to structure that. I don't want to be put into the position where the board is in violation of a statute rather than an audit or an auditor's. I don't know how to word this. Better way of doing it. You know.
An auditor forever, man, what you want to say.
Yeah. And it puts the chair into a special legal category because normally in the law, they don't hold the board legally responsible. They hold the chair.
That's all I
Did you
have.
have anything else?
Well, last year, she put 3 fund control points in the general budget area,
We're
which shouldn't have been in there.
We're not in executive
Huh?
session. We're not in executive sessions. Okay, so.
And I had to back them out and show the auditor what it was. We actually had a small surplus at the end of the year. But if you look at the computer program, we're in a negative situation. And I think I explained that to Deb so she could understand where I was coming from. She put the grant funds, fund control point, in the general fund area of the budget.
Right.
And it shouldn't be in there. So all of that money that came in should be subtracted back out, and all of the spending that was done should be subtracted back out. And I think you guys get a monthly report, don't you? If you look at the grants, there was 3 of them that occurred on. I didn't break it down because 2015 hasn't been closed out. You know, we made payments in January, we just made payments today against 2015. So I figured at the end of this month, when I get a new machine, well, first week of March, when I get a new run, maybe I could have the gals run a tape and we could look at it then.
Okay.
Would give us a better look at where we're at financially. Grants, the rural health care, and the repayment of excess fees. These 3 items should not be in here. So if you back out all of the debits and you back out all of the credits, when you turn the page over, you can see what starts to happen. Just grants alone, it's $920,000. But you also got to do it over here in the credits. So you take this and you subtract it from that, then you add that back in, and you're going to come up with a positive rather than a negative 186,000. You're actually going to come up with almost that much as a positive.
Good.
And I think, did that get put back in this year's, those 3?
They're still there.
So that's what I talked to the auditor about.
Okay.
Some way that has to be stopped early this year. You can't do negatives against something in audit, you have to leave it there, but maybe they can put a block on it so it doesn't show up. But the auditor's one that does that.
Right.
Deb can't do that, Dolores can't do that.
Okay. Is that all you had?
That's it.
Are we done?
I think we're done.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.